Hi everyone. I put a post up earlier talking about the importance of pricing because someone got in touch. One of my clients was talking to me yesterday about when a client gets in touch with you and basically says, how much are you? Like before they even care to ask, how are you? So I really wanted to address that in today's post. And then following that, I've had people message me to talk about this and to ask about their pricing. So I thought I would do tonight's video on pricing policies. Obviously, this is just a quick 2-minute thing that I do each night, so I'm not going to go into it all in depth, but basically, how do you price yourself? And what I find with a lot of my coaching work is that people are pricing themselves by competitor pricing, which is a really popular way to price, which I don't personally agree with as the best way. And that is literally to look at your competitor and say, what are they charging? I'll charge what they charge plus 10% or 20% because I'm better. I don't always think that's the best way, especially since your competitor probably hasn't consciously priced either. But yeah, so that's one way you can price, and that's what a lot of my clients have done when they come to me previously. You can premium price. You can literally say, I'm a quality service and therefore I'm gonna be a premium price and put a top price end on it. You can do entry level pricing or promotional pricing to get people in. So an early offer to get people in. Like if you were a hotel, you could do like a special £49 rate for the first 3 months to get people to come and leave TripAdvisor reviews. The downside to doing that is that if you set your price low with a plan for it to go up, you will always struggle to get it up. Once someone has had a deal, they basically will always expect a deal, and that's just the way it goes. So it's tricky, and you can get into price wars with competitors where I'm sure you've probably seen it or experienced it, where a client will try and play you off against a competitor of yours, even if it's unwittingly. So basically say well, they offered it for £100 cheaper, can you match it? And you can end up in this, you undercut and then they undercut and you undercut and someone ends up making 50p. So yeah, there's several different ways to price yourself, but it's really hard to talk about which way to price yourself without working with an individual client, because it all depends on your market, your competitors, where you've positioned yourself in the market. But what I'm going to share tonight is a game, an exercise that I play with my clients when we do soul sessions coaching, and it's called the pricing ladder. And what you have to do is pick 9 of your competitors, so there's 10 of you and 9 others, and without looking them up, don't go on their website, put all your names on a list of paper and chop the paper up. So you should have 10 slips of paper, small slips with every brand name on, and then organize the ladder depending on who you think is the most expensive at the top and who should be the cheapest at the bottom. And be honest with yourself, put yourself where you genuinely believe that you fit. And then once you've done that, actually look and find out what your competitors are charging and find out where they are on the ladder. And this is a really interesting game to play. It takes more than this to set your pricing, but the point of this is about the quality of your brand and perceived price. It's all about perception. So a brand could be really high end and you could think that they are more than they are, but also a brand could be really cheap and you could think they're cheaper than they are. It's really complicated, all the different options, but basically what you're looking at is that parity. So we talk really often about people being too much money, but what we don't talk about enough is people being too cheap. And the thing is, if you're too cheap, then what ends up happening is you're confusing your market. So if I am a luxury hotel and I offer you to stay for £50 for the night, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right like in your gut, because you'll be thinking, this is the Ritz or whatever. Why would they let me stay here so cheap? But likewise, if you saw a Premier Inn advertising at £450 for a bargain night away, that wouldn't feel right either. So your price has to have parity with your brand. If you're too low priced, you won't sell either. Like I worked with a wedding dress shop a few years ago who I was looking at everything she did, and what she was doing was she was advertising to a Harrods style bride, but her prices were right for a Primark style bride. So Harrods brides were coming in and thinking it was tat, and Primark brides weren't coming in at all because they couldn't afford the marketing looked too high end. So you've got to match up like your marketing with your actual pricing strategy. Like they've got to go hand in hand. If you charge too little, you're in as much trouble as if you charge too much. So you've got to get that sort of balance right. Where the pricing ladder will help you is in seeing where your brand fits. Someone that you think is like cheap and tacky in your industry might actually be charging more than you. And so that's something to really think about. Customers might be turning you down because you're too cheap. With this wedding customer that I dealt with, she had this gorgeous dress and it was £600 and it would not sell. It was a complete bargain. We put £1,200 on that dress. When I worked with her, we doubled the price and it sold in 24 hours. Now, I know that sounds like we're just ripping people off, but not really. The dress is worth what it's worth according to the market, the demand, the marketing, the style, the quality. She pitched the price wrong. She was pitching her marketing and her price at different budgets. As soon as we up-leveled her dresses to match her marketing, it sold instantly. And that's just the name of the game. So you've got to basically work out your pricing according to what you actually... there's a type of pricing called cost plus pricing. And that's where you work out, this is a really common way to price as well. And it's probably my preferred way to price. I'd rather you did this than competitor pricing, which is to work out how much it costs you to do the service and then add a bit on so you're making a bit. So you could say, let's say you're a writer. I don't charge by the hour, but a lot of writers do. You could say, well, I'm 100 quid an hour. It's going to take me 4 hours. So 400 quid, 485 quid. So I'm making 85 quid on top of my time and just in case of edits and etc. etc. So that's cost plus pricing. Your time plus, or if you're a product business, you obviously have to incorporate your product costs as well. But I'm thinking from a service-based business. So that's cost plus pricing. But I just realised I've been filming this for bloody 7 minutes. I'm going on and on and on. I'm not sure I've even really helped anybody. So basically, if you're confused about pricing, I doubt this video has helped you very much. But you know where I am. Send me a DM. I'm happy to have a quick look and a chat to anyone about pricing. I mean, I'm not going to go off on one for an hour with someone about pricing. But if you're worried about your pricing and think, is it right? Am I pitched correctly? Drop me a DM and I'll tell you what I think. But do try the pricing ladder because it's not going to help you set your pricing, but it will help open your eyes to branding and basically the power of people that you think charge less will be charging more than you, people that you think will charge more. Like whenever I take a client on, I always send a questionnaire, and one of the questions I ask is basically about what they charge, what their pricing is. And I'm always really shocked to find their prices are almost always, without doubt, lower than I expect them to be, based on the quality of the work I'm seeing. So yeah, think about it. You might actually be too cheap. Sorry this has gone on a bit, but yeah. Any questions, drop me a message and see you tomorrow.